All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning back into the Realennial Hour.
I'm Ruby.
I'm Pat, and we have a very special guest today. His name is Chris Munoz.
Welcome, Chris.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm not sure if I'm that special guest, but I'm a guest.
All right, so somewhat of a special guest today.
He is.
Chris and I go way back. We both went to KU together.
Rock chalk.
Rock chalk, baby.
I went to KU with you guys too.
Yeah, she did.
Oh yeah, Ruby went to KU too.
What the
Ruby, you went
heck?
to college?
I went to KU with Chris before I went to KU with Pat. I went to high school with Pat. Wait, and yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go to middle school.
We didn't go to middle school together, but
That's right.
So yeah, welcome to the show. Thanks
Rock
for joining
chalk,
us.
y'all.
It's a true pleasure and honor to have you come out here to join us on the show today.
yeah, we're excited to have you.
I'm excited. I told you guys I'm nervous, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, what's new with you?
Nothing really, man.
Such a
Working
loaded
at
question.
Kansas Community College. Yeah, still doing the business on the side. So bubblefootballkc.com. Home ownership. Right now I'm taking a break on my master's. So I was working on a master's in public administration at Park University.
Nice.
But man, I was just getting so overwhelmed. And so I'm taking a break right now. But I think I'm going to transfer to another school, Fort Hays State. It's like way cheap.
Yeah, online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So online.
What happened with Parkville?
Park is good. Park was good. I don't want to say anything bad about Park. One thing I do like about Park, a lot of people might not know this, which I didn't know this until I started working in higher education, is that it's a private institution, so they have one tuition rate. Meaning, if you're undocumented, you still pay one tuition rate, which is about $400 a credit hour. Which sounds like a lot, but it's about what in-state tuition is for KU or K-State or KC. So, yeah, I mean, so Park is good, but also there's this other schools that are cheaper. And so, luckily, I'm blessed to, have papers and be documented. So Fort Hays State is just like even half of the price.
Right.
So you're talking about $1,700 for a grad school class compared to $700 at Fort Hays State. So so I'm going to be saving some money.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys went to KU, you guys know how expensive it is.
I'm still paying for it.
Still paying for it too. Ooh, let's drink to that.
For how long?
Cheers. No, man. Student
Cheers.
This is coffee
Horrible.
for all you audio listeners.
It's coffee. Coffee.
What about you guys? You guys going back to school or?
I've been thinking about it.
I actually would like to go back to school. I would. Are you gonna do it?
I've been thinking about it. So kind of my plan is to I started a new job recently, working with people, and I'm kind of torn because I'm finding out how much I like my job now. But the plan was when I started it to do it for 2 years until I pay off my house and then go back to school, pay for school, cash, and not have to work necessarily full time without having a house payment. But I think I kind of want to be a teacher.
Nice.
So it's going to kind of depend. Fortunately, recently we've elected a Democratic governor in Kansas.
Yes.
Not to be super partisan, but they're generally pro-education relative to, historically speaking, the Republican governors that we had, which in my personal experience has been a huge deterrent from going to education over the past 4 to 6 years while Brownback was in office, terrorizing the education system.
Terrorizing. Great word.
And so, but it's always been on the back of my mind. I mean,
Like elementary, high school.
I would want to teach at the high school level, I think. But, and then other things came up, running a small business that have also changed my mind too about trying to do a long-term career, especially paying for a new degree. When I might have this other opportunity of running my business that I would find more satisfaction at it doing, and really just working for myself and expressing my creativity.
That's the practical degree. It's not, you're not paying for that education. You're getting that education. Small business owner, everybody here. We all understand.
Real life experience.
What would you go back? Would you get an MBA? That's what you were doing. An MBA, right, Chris?
MPA.
MPA.
In public administration.
Ooh, okay.
Nice. You gonna run for office?
Me? No. No,
You heard it
not
here
me,
first.
man.
One day.
Please.
It's
no,
happening.
Not me.
We'll endorse
then
you,
guys
Chris.
know all my secrets. You guys stop being my friends.
No way.
No, you guys are friends for life.
Well, going back to being a small business owner, we here at the Realennials, we just really encourage entrepreneurship, especially in a minority demographic. So we really wanted to touch base and ask you about what was your process in starting your business? What were your thoughts in doing that? What was your motivations?
That's a good question. It's a loaded question. Well, first off, I think that anybody who wants to start a business, and I tell this to students, I tell this to anybody who wants to do any new endeavor. If you know 50% of what you're pursuing, you know the most of what you're pursuing. Like, a lot of people think, oh, I don't know enough about this. Oh, I can't do this. They get confused. They get scared. They let fear dictate their lives. When you want to be an entrepreneur, if you know 50% of whatever you're pursuing, then you know, I think, the max of what you're ever going to know. Meaning, for you guys, for example, you guys are starting this podcast. Not to put Ruby on the spot, but, she was kind of messing with the sound.
Put me on the spot, yeah.
And, you don't know exactly kind of, you're learning as you go, right?
Yeah.
With experience, right?
Yes.
But some people would hesitate to do a podcast because they're like, oh, I don't know audio engineering. I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to do it. So you don't have to know everything. You have to just kind of have, for me, faith and just run with it. So I didn't know. I'm still learning how to run a business, and you just have to. If you know at least 50% of it, that's the most that you're ever going to know when you try something new.
Chris, tell us what your business is. And just kind of, what does it do? What do you do on a daily basis? What's up?
So my business is Bubble Football KC. I've been doing it for 3 years. I like to say it's a soccer-oriented entertainment company, meaning
Cool.
our number one service that we provide is Bubble Soccer. So if you don't know what Bubble Soccer is, you can Google Bubble Soccer, YouTube Bubble Soccer.
What is it?
Or go to our website, www.bubblefootballkc.com. Football spelled FUTBOL.
Football.
Yeah. Check it out if you feel like it.
So Bubble Soccer is like you're in a big old inflatable bubble that your whole body's inside except your legs, so you can run around. And it's almost like those sumo wrestler suits.
Yeah.
You're just knocking people around and you're just going crazy. You're going upside down. You're getting hit from behind, and it's just a really, really new twist on soccer. And so I've been doing that's our number one service that we provide. We provide other services, but recently it was cool. We got to do Bubble Soccer at halftime at the Sporting KC game, and so I was there. They're playing the national anthem, and they have fireworks going off, and I'm just sitting there like, what the heck? How am I here?
That's
How am I here on
awesome.
the field with the professionals standing in front of me with the fireworks, and I'm at the MOS halftime show, and I'm thinking, damn, I was on. I don't know if I can cuss. Sorry.
That's fine. Go
But
for it.
I was sitting on my couch thinking, man, maybe I should, Well, I guess, just thinking that, from an idea, and here 3 years later, I'm here at the halftime show of Sporting KC doing Bubble Soccer. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was kind of just something, radical.
That really speaks to what you were just saying about you only need to know 50% of it. And then
That's the max you're ever gonna
even when you get to that point, you're there on the Sporting field, Sporting KC field, it's like you're still, even at that point, even though it's like outward looking in, it's like you made it. But at the same time, it's like, how did I get here? Do I belong here? So it's like, is that something, do you think, that you'll always have that thought and you just got to keep plowing through it and just keep making? That actually leads to my next question. How do you know you're making the right decisions along the way?
As a business owner.
Man, that's a tough question, man.
Because I see your social, your Instagram and stuff, and I see all the new stuff that you've been posting. It's like, at what point do you decide, okay, I need to expand, or I need to incorporate more different things into that? And how do you know you're doing the right thing?
Well, like I said, you're never going to know 100% if you're doing the right thing. You just have to kind of go with your gut feeling. There's a book that I read that helped me make decision. It was Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, and that is all about going with your tuition and whatnot. So I think we're going.
So you listen to your gut. So if like, has there been any instances where you have just been like logic has told you don't do it, but your gut has been like, I'm gonna do it. I feel like that's just starting a business in general. Sometimes
right,
it's just like, I'm gonna do it. Like,
right. Dang. Trying to think instances. I'm just like naturally, I'm just kind of hesitant kind of guy. But you just have to have that faith. For me, I'm a spiritual guy. Catholic-ish is what I tell people. Sometimes I go, church. I'm pretty lucky because like mass is like 10 feet away from my office on campus. So I still get to mass. It's just about having that faith in yourself, faith that everything's going to work out. I think that everybody who's listening can sit down, can think about every single decision in their life, and everything always works out.
Yes,
and I tell students,
I believe that.
Everything in life, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a death, whether it's failing a class, you're still standing. You're still here. You still have cares.
I agree. Where did you get that idea or that like ideology from? Because I know. Let me just give you some background on. I got that in college. I figured out that I failed a lot in college, not only classes but just like in general failed. So where are we at? 60 seconds.
I think he called 60 seconds.
So.
Then what was the hand gesture?
Yeah.
1 minute 30.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
We're
cool.
also on camera, y'all. So
Sorry. I'm going to cut this out, but I thought we were calling the signal at 60 seconds.
well, then my question stands. What was that question?
Sorry.
Something about like knowing that everything works out.
Oh yeah.
Or something like
Where
that.
yeah, where did you get that like that everything will work out? I know for me, my mom would always tell me like I would be worried about something and my mom would be like, just go to sleep, like just take a nap, just chill out.
Sleep
It's gonna work out. And then when I was in college, I failed a lot. Like it was definitely a period of you aren't what you think you are. Sometimes when you're in college, you're like you can't do good on all the tests, all the papers. You can't finish everything. It's just like your time is limited and it's tough. And that's where I learned that stuff just always works out. So like, did you get that from college or like work, or did you have that before, like from growing up?
Well, one, if you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself, is what I always tell people. One thing. So people need to become comfortable with failing. Because I'm in the same boat, man. I tell students who come into my office, because I'm also an academic advisor, that, one time I was on probation. After the first semester at KU, I was on probation. Yeah. And then I'll tell them the whole story. But keep pushing yourself, don't quit. I think it's just reflecting on life. That's why.
Yeah.
Because I've failed so many times where you ultimately look back and you're like, dang, there's been times when I've been, down on my luck. There's been times I wanted to quit, and there's been hardships, but everything somehow always works out. There's storms in life, but the sun always comes out. And that's why when you make a decision, just go with it. If it feels right, if it's moral, if it's good, if it sticks with your principles, go with it. Everything will work out all the time. You just have to have that faith.
Yeah.
So that's just reflecting on life, I think. That's why I've come to that conclusion.
I think for me personally, I have a fear of not trying. I have a fear of not reaching my potential. And that has to deal with the fact that I know I'm capable of doing certain things. And I know what I am capable of doing. And I know that it's more than mediocrity. I know that it's more than like the average person. And I'm just trying to like figure that out.
I think fundamentally in our lives, there's a tug of war between fear and love. And I think fear sometimes wins a lot in our lives. So it sounds like you're saying like you're fearful of what? Like
my biggest fear is not fulfilling my potential, is wasting it.
And then why don't you go out and
Well, that's what we're doing.
pursue?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
It took me a long time to figure that out.
Okay. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to interrupt you guys, but we got to take a break. So again, you're watching the Realennials. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with some deeper discussions. Commercial talk's going to be great. All right. See you guys back after the
See
break.
you after the break. Thanks.
Nice.
All right. Welcome back to the show.
I'm Ruby.
I'm Pat. And we're still here with Chris Munoz, our guest. Thanks for, if you're just tuning in with us, Chris Munoz is a good friend of ours and local entrepreneur. And he works in education. You're an academic advisor, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. So, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, but also I have a full-time job. So I'm hustling. I'm hustling all the time.
That's the definition of hustling.
Every day
Yeah.
I'm hustling.
Yeah.
Every day I'm hustling.
So what does that mean? I mean, tell us a little bit more about what do you do as an academic advisor?
And why do you do it too?
Well, first off, it's my favorite job I've ever had. Post-college. So
yeah.
Post-college, I've had, 4 different jobs. This is my 4th job. So you know how millennials have the bad rep of like every 2 years having a different job. That was me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's paid dividends. So, well, one, there's studies that show like, us millennial generations. I mean, I've heard you guys' past podcasts.
Yeah.
You guys know all the different obstacles that we face, unlike any other
Absolutely.
generation. And so, when you get a new job, you increase your wages by 10%. If you stay there at your job year to year,
On
you only
average.
increase it on average by 2 to 4%. So really getting a new job is actually the way right now how our generation has adapted to make more money. But anyways, that's just a little tip out there. But anyways, long story short, I've it's great benefits, great pay. At the community college I work at, I don't know if I can say where I work at or not. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think so.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I work at Kansas City, Kansas
Yeah.
Community College. I mean, I'm not a bad guy. I don't
Yeah,
think I'm
if
gonna
people
get fired.
Google you, they'll probably find it out. So,
find me.
internet people.
Right. Oh, yeah. So I'm an academic. Actually, my new title is Student Success Advisor. Essentially, I help guide students and navigate them through the educational system because we all know, I think we're all
Yes,
first generation
we are
college
all-
students. And
yes.
you guys remember how complex it was. Like, I promise you, when I went to KU, I was kind of stubborn. First off, all my family, like my older siblings went to college and, my parents didn't go to college. There wasn't much pressure to go to college. And I remember my siblings telling me, I better go to college. And I was just kind of stubborn. I was like, man, you're not going to tell me what to do in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do what I want. And so...
Sorry, I'm not sure if I misheard. Did you say your older siblings didn't go to college or they did?
They did.
Okay,
They didn't go
okay.
to college, yeah. So then they had that pressure
Oh,
for
I
me
see,
to go to
okay.
college.
Yeah.
And then I waited till July to apply to KU, got accepted, and then the very next month in August, I started college.
Wow.
I started KU. But I remember I missed freshman orientation, so I had to enroll myself. So
Oh gosh.
I remember I went to admissions. They were like, okay, enroll yourself into 12 or 15 credit hours. In my head, I was like, what is a credit hour? Like, I had no clue what a credit hour was.
Yeah, I remember not knowing what a credit hour was when I first went to college.
Yeah, so I was so lost. Lo and behold, long story short, now I'm an academic advisor, and now I help students navigate and understand what is a credit hour. What is humanities? What is a social science? What is composition? So making sure they understand what degree requirements, make sure they're on the right path to meet degree requirements to save money, save time, etc.
Yeah.
So, because college, especially if you don't have parents or siblings who went to college, it's a complex process sometimes.
Yeah,
It can get intimidating.
is it the case that you're the guy like for like first generation students, for example, like if a student applies and they know that they're first generation, do they just send them to you? So that like for I guess an example scenario would be like, oh, I'm taking applications and like, oh, I see he's the first person in the family to go to college. We'll give him to Chris so that he can answer those first time college questions. What is a credit hour? What is how do you do this?
Every college is different. But at our college, we kind of we're heading towards case management sort of style, so that when you apply to our college, you'll automatically be assigned an academic student success advisor. But right now, it's kind of when you go in, whoever comes out and helps you, they help you.
Okay.
But if anybody listening right now needs help and they find themselves at Kansas Community College, you can check off Chris Munoz, and I'll be more than happy to help you.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's an excellent resource. I mean, what would you say is the first step for somebody that's out there? They maybe are in a family that didn't go to college, that didn't push them to go to college, or a young person that's 15, 16, 17 years old. Right now, they're probably sitting thinking, I'm from a poor family. I can't afford a university. That doesn't make sense for me. Like, what would you say to someone like that?
First off, I think I hear a lot of people, and rightly so, they hesitate about going to college because the cost of college. I mean, all of us, we went to a pretty expensive school, and I have debt right now.
I'm still paying student loans.
But I think it's worth it. One thing I'm learning about is community college. I think is definitely the way to go. We can, if you qualify for financial aid, for example, financial aid is grant money from the government that you do not have to pay back. So basically, honestly, a lot of people don't see it this way, but to some extent, depending on how poor you are, you can kind of get community college almost paid for. I mean, I have probably 80% of our students at KCK gets financial aid, and they get enough financial aid that's covered. Awesome. So basically, they go to college for free through FAFSA. And so I forgot what your original question was.
I'll go on to another one. Can I ask you, what is a common hurdle that you see that's preventing students from being successful? Once they're in college, once they started the process?
Honestly, I think it's one part believing in themselves, believing that they can actually do it. I think that they think that people who have college degrees are some esoteric, special person who has some special ability that they don't have.
Yeah.
And they don't know that, you probably, you have a story just like everybody else.
I had my struggles too.
Right. That, we came from poverty or I have uncles who've been in prison or, living in neighborhoods where there was shootings and there was, growing up on welfare, that we're not anything special, that anybody can succeed in just believing in themselves.
I think the secret is that we just kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like we had, I think, and I might have talked to both of you on separate occasions, but I think we've all had points in time where we've been like, oh my gosh, I cannot go any further. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not meant to do this. And then we've done it anyways. We've just kept going. Absolutely. And that's the secret. Like that is. You think you can't, but then you just do. That's
absolutely, man. I read a book. I can't remember the author's name, but he talked about you have to be stupid to be successful. Meaning, if you overthink something, you're going to scare yourself. You're going to argue yourself out of pursuing that. And that's almost, again, goes back to if you know 50% of what you're doing, you know the max of what you need to know, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So you make an excellent point. But that's why, they have student success advisors to help you guide you through it. We're there to support you. So if you don't have the answers, that's fine. We have the answers.
I got the answer, Sway.
I will say this though, community college was the 2 best years of my life,
right,
and I went to Garden City Community College, right. And I was very involved there. I was in student council. I played basketball. I was in the art club. I was in the band, and I honestly could have probably gone to university right out of high school. I had scholarships. I had scholarships, but I had heard my parents say that they couldn't afford it. So and I had scholarships that were going to cost me nothing at Garden City Community College. So I ended up going there. And honestly, I wouldn't trade those 2 years. I did a lot of growing, and it was a really intimate setting, and it was in my hometown, and I don't want to say I got the best education, but I got a really good experience. So I think if you're not ready to go to university, go to a community college. Like you're going to get the experience. And I always just remember Community, the show. Have you watched Community?
Yeah,
Have you seen Community?
I haven't seen it. I know. I've seen short clips of it.
Like it's hilarious, but that's kind of the like situation that you get in, where you are kind of in a place where, you know, there's non-traditional students, there's people that, you know, are just trying to figure it out. They're, you know, everybody's fumbling through it. So I really do like community college, and I think it's good work that you're doing to help those people that are taking that first step and then maybe taking the step afterwards.
And one thing I do want to point out about community college that a lot of people overlook is the fact that, community college can be the stepping stone and then you transfer to a university. But we also have a tech center. So I have students who come in and, we'll talk about, why are you here? Oh, my grandma or my mom made me come here. But there's somebody who likes to work with their hands. So we have at community college that I work at, we have, woodwork technology where you're building things, you're learning how to build houses and sheds, buildings. We have machine technology, where you're learning how to fix the big machines, work the big machines. We have $1 million 3D printer at our facilities. We have cosmetology, culinary. We have computer software technician. We have multimedia technician. We have audio engineering. We have physical therapy assistant. We have a lot of programs that are 80% hands-on training, 20% book work. So if you're somebody who doesn't like the book work, doesn't like to read, doesn't like to take all the sides, likes to do hands-on training, we have those programs as well. Where some of the, for example, welding, you can do that degree. That's a 9-month program if you go full-time, 2-year program if you go part-time, and you can graduate making $60,000 plus. Double what I was making when I first graduated KU with a bachelor's.
Yeah, and you don't got to sit in an office, people. Right. You can be out in the field working with your hands.
That's a very, very, very important point, because when people think about college and they think about education, they think about that 4-year degree, and they think about all the student debt that might come with it if they're not smart enough, or they're not good enough, or they're not fill in the blank to get a scholarship, athletic enough. And I think about what that means, and a lot of times, and I don't want to say a lot of times, but a lot of times people don't consider the full options. They think that I'm going to go to college and get a degree for something, and I'm going to sit in an office all day doing something I hate. But the reality is that there's a large percentage of the population that are technical, that work with their hands, and that those people are not catered to. And
there's options.
It should be very much encouraged. Like, if you like working with your hands, pursue that. And that's fantastic that KCKCC offers things like that. And this isn't an ad for KCKCC by any means, but it's I think it is understated what the options that they have available there at that school. I don't know of another JUCO that has those kind of options there. But anyways, my point is that I think working with your hands is a fantastic thing. We sit here. I tell people I consider myself an intellectual person, and I don't say that as an elitist type of thing. It just simply means that my mind and my life are such that I get gratification and I get a sense of purpose from things that are intellectually stimulating. And I understand that not everybody is like that. And me in my position, I don't look down on. In fact, I encourage and friends with and push people that like to work with their hands to be technical, to be artists, or to be welders or whatever, to do what it is that they want to do or what they feel like they need to do to fulfill their sense of purpose. I don't think that anybody's sense of purpose is uniform to getting that 4-year college degree and working in an office all day. Right.
Yep. I mean, all the students who go to the tech center, man, they do things that I can't do, that I wish I could do. I mean, especially being a homeowner, like, I wish I knew how to, fix my ceiling that has a hole right now because I had a leak, back in the day. So I
told you I'll help you with that.
I know, right? I still have it too, man. That was like half a year ago. Well, one thing I will do, just kind of loop around. I have a student. He's a maintenance guy, but he's also a student at the tech center, and he's going through HVAC. So learning how to fix heaters and air conditionings in houses and businesses. But now, I'm talking with him, and I'm letting him know that, he has my support in terms of potentially opening his own business one day. Wow. So, having that tech certificate and skill, you can open your own business. Imagine if you're a plumber. Imagine if you're woodwork. technician. Imagine if you have construction technology, you can build things. You can start your own business. Sky's the limit. You just have to, don't limit yourself. Be optimistic. Reach for the stars.
Yeah, look for those opportunities that you can go after.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't look for why you can't. Always think why you can.
And the thing is, you don't have to have the answers. You just have to be willing to ask the questions.
Exactly. And if you know 50% of the answers, then that's the most you're ever going to know. I got to keep reminding people.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks, Chris, for being here with us. Come back after the break.
Like, Chris, you're fired. Like,
Okay, I'm going to do a clap and then Pat brings in.
All right. Welcome back to the Realennial Hour. I'm Pat.
I'm Ruby.
And we're still here with our special guest, Chris Munoz.
Chris Munoz.
Who came and joined us for this conversation. It's been a true honor and a blessing to have him here.
Absolutely.
To drop knowledge on us and to further our conversation and our mission of what we're trying to do here. So getting right back into it, we really just wanted to ask you about what are you excited about in the future for what you're doing, and what does that mean for your future in terms of what you do as your day job as an academic advisor and your small business, and for yourself personally.
Well, I'm definitely in a position in my life where I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm content and everything. And I'm blessed. But in terms of the future, I know for the business, and I've always said this from the get-go, I'm not even, and this is probably a dilemma that I have personally, is that I'm not greedy. I'm not looking to be super rich. But I think the next step for the business is to start giving back. So, we make profit, we're not in debt.
Can I pause you right there? Because you said something that I think is pretty profound, that I'd like to touch on. And you said that you're happy and you're content. And people spend a whole life looking for that. And so where along the process of all the things that you've done, do you feel like, what have you done to arrive at that point to feel that way?
There's a quote, I was doing a workshop with students the other day about integrity, but there's a quote that I think it's good to live by, and that is Mahatma Gandhi. He once said, what you think, what you say, and what you do have to be all in harmony. And so that's something I think say that I kind of live by. Now, nobody's perfect. There's things that I do that aren't in line with what I think, what I say, and what I do. There's mistakes. Even to this day, there's things that I do that I'm just like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. But more or less, I feel like I'm content because I'm heading towards not towards a perfect life, because nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect ever. But I'm happy with being imperfect, I guess, maybe.
You accept it.
Yeah. I accept not being perfect, and I'm okay with that. And that's where I'm at in life. So.
Yeah, it's profound, because I think that people have this misconception about happiness, that they think that it is a destination, that you're going to arrive there.
Nope. Yep.
And for me at least, and I know I'm hearing what you've described, but for me at least, happiness is the realization, like you said, that nothing is ever going to be perfect, that you're as an individual, me myself, I'm not ever going to be perfect, but to work towards a majority of the time I'm doing the right thing. A majority of the time I'm doing what I need to be doing to be successful towards fulfilling my potential.
Yep.
And it's not all the time. As you said, we all make mistakes, and we all do things that we perceive as setbacks. But I'm also, the thing that's really, and it's kind of cliche and it's kind of cheesy, but the thing that really changed my perspective in the last, I would say, a year and a half, 2 years, is just the cheesy cliche line of there are no losses, there are only lessons. And
awesome.
When I changed my perspective about taking losses and what things that you would consider as taking losses, quote unquote, which ordinarily would just be me making terrible decisions for myself. When I could wake up the next day and say that's a lesson, instead of saying I'm a terrible person, I can't believe I made that mistake, I can take that with me to the following day and then proceed as a lesson learned, and to just know that I can do better next time. That when I arrived at that perspective is what really changed, at least in me.
That's deep, man. That's deep. I like how you said change your perspective, man. Like sometimes like some things we've probably heard out throughout life. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, man, that stuff is cheesy.
Yeah.
Like that is man, must be
like,
nice.
okay.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna change my perspective. I'm gonna be happy. Okay, like that's the dumbest stuff, you know. Like like.
But it's the truth.
Yeah. And then you start to like understand life, and then you're like, wow, but it is the truth. Change your perspective. Change your attitude. You change your life. Change your perspective. Change your life. And that's how it is, man. I mean, you can decide whether to see the cup half empty or half full. I choose to see it half full. So that's just how I live life, and I'm content with it. So
awesome, that's great. And so let's continue the conversation about the future, because I kind of paused it to talk about the present. And the present is super super important. Obviously,
yep. You need to be
a lot
present.
Of people are not victim, but prisoner of the idea. Of the future, not only the future and fear of what that brings, but also their past. They're a prisoner of their past.
Yeah.
And they believe
pioneer of the future.
They believe that the things that they've done, the things that they've seen, the things that they've experienced are who they are. And what they're comprised of. And that's a component, and it's true, it's a component of who you are.
Yeah.
But I'm an advocate for taking those experiences and using them as a tool to
learn,
mold who you will be in the future.
Absolutely. So that's good. I mean, you have to be not a prisoner of the past, but a pioneer of the future.
Ooh.
And
are you Mahatma Gandhi?
No, right? No.
Quote.
I think for me, you're absolutely right. Like, we are part of history. We are making history right now. Like, what our experiences of the past are who we are now.
Yeah.
But living in the present is what I think helps bring you down. At least helps me bring me down to earth. Like, knowing, like, right now, right here, I'm here with some good friends.
Yeah.
Helping and like playing with their endeavor, like helping like with their endeavor and their entrepreneurial spirits and my entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm relishing this experience right here, right now. I'm not worrying about yesterday's mistakes or what happened with my childhood or things that I've witnessed or experienced. Right now, right here, we're living in this moment. We're hustling. We don't know your future. I don't know where my business is going. They don't know where your podcast is going. But we're doing something, and we're just going with it. We're living in the moment, and that's sometimes I think where we have to remind ourselves, like, just relax. Like, we're here. We're breathing. We had a beer together.
Yeah.
We're living life. Like, dang. Like, yeah. I mean, we all have challenges though too. Like, be nice, be kind. We all are facing our own battles.
And these are all, that's terrific. And these are all very profound thoughts. And it just occurred to me that, okay, someone listening in who might be in the midst of our struggles from our past might be looking in or listening in and saying, like, well, who are they to say what happiness is? Right. Do you care to elaborate on like some of the struggles you had as a kid, or like what?
Or in college,
I know that you had. I know you very well. You're a close friend of mine, and you've talked to me personally about some of the very real struggles you had as an immigrant family, as just even trying to get in college. I recall one story you told me about when you were going to look for a new car.
Oh yeah.
Could you elaborate on some of the
handcuffed and arrested,
some of the struggles,
stereotypes,
so that someone who's listening in that might be in the midst of that right now can understand that what we're talking about is real. The potential is real to become who you really want to be, despite the history.
Well, first off, I want to just say that happiness is something that you don't have all the time. That happiness is something that right now I could be happy right now, And tomorrow there's days I wake up and I'm like, man, I am lost in this life. Like, what the heck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like this, like, man, am I where I should be in life? And I'll just be miserable. And for no reason, I'll just be like, man, I'm not where I should be. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. And from the somebody from the outside of my world, they might be like, man, Chris, you have a phenomenal life. But there's times where I feel down. So happiness is elusive, man. And the thing is, like, when you don't feel happy, when you're going through life storms, like I said earlier, just know the sun's going to come up. So for me, the optimism that everything's going to work out, that the sun's going to come out and I'm going to wake up. It might be in a week, might be in a month, you get out of your rut, but you will feel happy again. Things for me that makes me feel happy is hanging out with family, hanging out with friends. But some of the struggles that I've gone through, I mean, yeah, like I recall, and the story that you were talking about was when I got accepted to KU. I was really excited. I had a hoopty car. The car was like, it was draining transmission fluid. So I got stopped one time on the highway. The cop was like, he came up walking up to my door and he was like, hey, look in your rearview mirror. Look in my rearview mirror. I saw like black stuff on his windshield. Yeah. He's like, that's coming from your car. I was like, are you sure? Me? Yeah. I was like, yeah. So I had a hoopty car, man. And so I'm from Topeka. I got accepted to KU. So some night after work, I went to buy a car. I was looking for cars because I was working like 7 days a week. I went to a car dealership and I was looking at cars in the parking lot. And I remember next thing you know, 5 cop cars got there. They put me in handcuffs. They thought I was like trying to steal a car. And I told them, I was like, no, officer. I was like, I'm looking for a legit car because I'm going to be going from Topeka to Lawrence. I need a good car, a good, reliable car.
Yeah, like I just got into college.
Yeah. And I remember they put me in handcuffs. I mean, they went through around every single car and all that stuff. They didn't believe me or anything like that. And the weird thing was I literally had my acceptance letter in my car. I was like just so excited. I just had it walking there. But yeah, going KU, you've heard some things too. People bring you down. People, telling you, Mexicans are just, nasty. And I was told that at KU.
Yeah, there was some discrimination.
Growing up, your parents are talking Spanish to you at the grocery store, and they're like, people are, oh, we're in America, we talk English.
Yeah.
You don't have all that, but you just try not to relish too much on that. Obviously, it's part of the equation, but just keep moving forward, man. Keep hustling.
Yeah, it can be done. I mean, you've done it. We've done it.
And, we've done it.
And we have special.
All 3 of us have done it. We all went to KU. We all got our degrees. Right. We all are out here in the world trying to make things happen. Right. And it has been hard. I've heard. I know Pat's story. I know your story. I know how hard it was for myself. And that's some good advice you're giving. Like, just keep going, man. Just keep going, people.
If we can do it, they can do it.
If we can do it, they can do it.
Exactly, because I know I'm not the smartest person in the...
I think...
you know what I'm saying. That's how smart I am.
I think something that people need to hear, too, especially young people, people tend to take things very personally. And young people don't understand that there's a huge, gigantic, infinitely deep historical context behind how people treat them, especially minorities, right? And so when you're in that situation, when you're there buying that car, and probably at that time it felt very personal. Like, why are you treating me like this?
Right.
And it's not that they are treating you like this. That's how they treat everybody like that. Right. And so, like,
that looks like you.
It hurts and it does not feel good. But if you can take that experience and understand that it's not about you, that you are meant to do something and you are meant to be somebody, and that's just a setback in that equation, then you just you can allow yourself to power through that and continue on your journey. You don't have to take it so personal and be so hurt by it. I'm not saying it's not going to hurt, because it will. It will hurt and it will sting a little bit, but you ultimately have the power to react, the power to choose how you react to it.
Right. And that's one thing I think that young people need to understand, and that is not talking about discrimination and racism, because that definitely exists, and that stuff hurts so much, man. That is, man, that
it does.
That turn your world around. But what I'm talking about is like when you're offended because somebody says something about your shoes or says that, you know, your hair looks funky or you know, just starts talking stuff on you. Like for me, I think what kind of helped change me is philosophy, man. Going KU, learning philosophy.
Yeah. Liberal arts degree, y'all.
Oh man, it can change your life.
Study Socrates.
Critical
Right?
thinking.
Exactly, man. Like you can't let somebody come into your life and they've known you for 10 seconds. They say something about your outfit, and then you're like a little
shook.
puppet.
Yeah.
You're shook. You're like, what the like, and you ready to fight them. Like that's no, man. Like you can't. You're not a little puppet. Don't let them control what emotions you're gonna show. Like that means you're simple-minded. That means that you got to be deeper than that. Like, we as a community, we young people, we got to be deeper than that. You can't let somebody know you for 10 seconds and control. Like, you know what? I know you for 10 seconds. I'm going to make you mad. Like that means you're a little puppet. Nah, man. You got to be deeper than that. You know?
Your mom knows you your whole life. She can't get you to get up and clean your room.
Yeah.
And someone tells you in 10 seconds how to react, and you're going to do it.
Boom. Yeah.
Like, not fair.
Oh, man.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for elaborating on your experiences and for sharing that with everybody. I'm very honored and proud to be your friend. We don't maybe hang out as much as we should, but every time I see you, it's like we haven't stopped hanging out, and it's generally a pleasure. And so everybody out there, hopefully you can take something with you from this conversation.
I just hope I don't ruin any lives. No,
I think you've enhanced some lives. Honestly, you've enhanced our lives, Chris. So.
But I want to thank you guys, man. Like you guys are hustling. You guys are doing your things. Like that's amazing. Like for real. Like you guys are like, I see you guys. I'm seeing you guys hustling, and I'm like, damn. Like I gotta step up too. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep up with you guys. So thank you guys for having me here.
All right, check out Bubble Football KC. He serves the whole greater Kansas City area, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
KC, what's the website? Sorry.
www.bubblefootballkc.com. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Snapchat. Kinda on Snapchat.
It's probably one of the most fun things you can do as an organization or as a group of friends or anything.
We'll be at the soccer lot this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. So soccer lot is downtown. It's a little facility down there.
Well, mad props to you, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, man. We're proud of you, Chris. Thank you for being on the show. I hope our listeners got some good tidbits. You gave some great advice.
You guys do this like every week, so you guys are changing our community. Thank you guys, man.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Realennial Hour. I'm Pat.
I'm Ruby, and we're here with Chris. And again, you guys can follow us everywhere,
on
right?
Instagram, the Realennials.
Yeah, and you know what? Shoot us an email, thereallennials@gmail.com. But thank you again for being with us. Thank you, Chris, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, peace.
See ya.